And now we're doing a sequel to a series I've never even really seen. I mean, I've heard the name before, so it's definitely something that's been around. It's just nothing I've ever really seen. Uh, I saw Ghoulies 3, Ghoulies Go to College, and just dumb. I mean, I thought the last movie, which was The Jazz Singer, was something that I had already seen before. This one is even more like that. I mean, it's literally every single college movie I've ever seen, only with the Ghoulies, I guess. And again, I don't know who the Ghoulies are. I mean, like I said, I've heard the name before, but not familiar with the characters. I don't know if they were good in their previous movies, and this one was just really bad or what. But yeah, it's every single college movie except for these little Ghoulies, which uh, realistically they're kind of like the Gremlins. At least that's my impression of them. Like I don't know if they were created as a ripoff to the Gremlins or it's just coincidental, but they're kind of like those characters, which doesn't help on what already feels kind of like a ripoff. And yeah, I mean the whole movie is basically, you got a guy in college messing up. He wants to be, like the prank king or something because it's prank week. But his girlfriend, is tired of that bullshit. So, you know, he has to fix himself up. And then as this is going on, you got like the rival college frat that is, a bunch of jerks. And you got the not even the dean, but it's like a teacher. I'm blanking out on what he was supposed to be teaching, but he's a teacher who hates the main character for some reason. I mean, I know it's supposed to be because he's a prankster, but I mean, it's to a really weird point that he hates him. So he accidentally summons these ghoulies with a comic book. Again, I don't know if this is a thing in in the other two movies. Um, and then he just starts having them go around creating the pranks that he hates, which makes no real sense. And realistically, there's nothing really to this movie. I mean, the only thing I can say it has going for it is that a couple of the kills are kind of fun to look at from a visual standpoint. Uh, but beyond that, I mean, if you've seen a college movie, you get your raunch right there. I mean, I don't know, it's just all kind of stupid. I mean, you're looking at a movie where despite it being in college, the characters act like high schoolers, which I know it's not that uncommon for these types of movies, but it's literally to a point where at times I kept on forgetting that this movie was supposed to be set in a college. That's how childish the characters were acting. But okay, whatever. Again, that's a thing that you kind of see in some college movies. Um, but yeah, it's not really funny. I mean, the effects aren't really all that good. Like the puppetry on the Ghoulies aren't especially interesting. The sound effects on it are always like the same kind of Three Stooges type of thing, which makes me wonder, you know, what was the budget on this movie? I mean, it definitely, I could be wrong, but it looks like a straight to video movie from the 80s. And, again, I could be wrong. I kind of doubt it, but again, whatever. And yeah, the movie just goes along in that route. I mean, again, there's some kills that are kind of fun. Like there's at one point one of the other teachers who's played by Marcia Wallace. If you don't know her, she's she was the voice of Edna Krabappel on The Simpsons. She pops up and the ghoulies kill her by pulling her tongue out, and it's kind of like, okay, that's kind of a cute little effect, but again, nothing. I mean, the ghoulies themselves are just kind of annoying. Like I said, they kind of remind me of the Gremlins. They're also ugly designs. I mean, I know that they're supposed to be monsters, but you know, even in movies with monsters and whatnot, you have to try to make them look a little appealing. You know, especially if you're going for a comedic route, and these just aren't. They're just ugly to look at. I mean, oddly enough, when they dress up as college pranksters or their idea of college pranksters, it's kind of adorable to look at, but even then, it's still kind of ugly. Um, but again, it's just like so much of this. I'm just like, why? I mean, I guess on the No, I can't even really say that it's at least not as rapey as some of the other movies from this time period. Because thinking on it, yeah, there's a few bits where I'm like, this is about as bad as other rapey college movies that you'd see from that time period. I was about to give it that, but no. I mean, there's even at one point, the security guard is like, oh, the girls are gonna be, the guys are gonna do a panty raid on the girls. So let me go up to the girls and convince them to give me their panties so that they don't do it. Which I'm like, yeah, I know, we all know what you're doing. Um, I don't know. I mean, the most I could say is that it's just really a knockoff. It's just a knockoff of college movies. The Ghoulies themselves feel like knockoffs of the Gremlins. I don't know if they are, but it wouldn't surprise me. And yeah, there's not a whole lot that was actually funny or interesting about the movie. I mean, the Ghoulies themselves barely factor into it. Most of the time, it's just a college movie with just little sprinkles of them popping in and out, and occasionally you get the teacher who's supposed to be like the dean in these kinds of movies is all like, oh, I'm gonna control the Ghoulies and make them do stuff, but again, I don't understand the logic why. Like, if he just wants to kill the main character, just kill the main character. Don't try to frame him up for a bunch of bullshit that you know doesn't factor into anything. Because even then, the rival frames the main character, and that effectively gets him kicked out. So I don't get the point of all this, and nothing good about it. It's just a cheap knockoff. Well, wow.